Hello everyone. Today is another day in the studio. Just showing you around a bit. I made that 25 years ago, and there you go. If you're not familiar with my work, I'm kind of like an untrained artist, and I've been painting and sculpting for probably closer to 50 years. So I think I got better at it by now, but you know, these are some of my paintings I have around my studio slash bedroom. But lately I've been working on a series of, actually for the last about 200 hours, I've been working on a series of ceramic faces. And here they are. And I guess it's better if I get some light behind me here. Maybe if a little bit of light you can see them a bit better. There we go. This is here we go, some of the early ones. And these smaller ones take me about 4 hours to make. I know they do. Like this one here, this woman here, probably take me a little bit less, but one like this with the hand, that would take me a bit more time, maybe 3-4 hours. Some are more creative than others, and some are really expressive, and some are just... Now I'm trying to get some of the newer ones down here. Where I took these ones take a little bit longer, like about 8 hours to make. These guys here. This guy's cool. That's what I did yesterday. Jesus, don't forget baby Jesus. There's a little bumblebee woman, I really like that one. It's got a really nice collar. Little pirate. A little happy face. This guy's very concerned with life. You can't forget a nice punk profile. So, you know, a little bit of the 90s in there. Throw a bit of the 90s in there. And that's what I've been working on for the last, I don't know, go 200 hours took me to do these, which doesn't seem like they would take that long to do, but there's 40, I think 45 overall. And they average about, I don't know, 5 hours, 6 hours average for all of them, for each one. And next summer I should have, I'm trying to do one a day, and next summer I should have a collection of about 200, and I intend to roll them out at craft fairs here in the Maritimes in Canada, but if I don't, I'll be selling them online. And right now we're just going to give you a little demonstration on how I just do a little bit of the starting procedure. And it's not very difficult. You start with a bit of, hey you Missy, what are you doing here? Start off with a hunk of clay just like that. And some of my primary tools are scalpel, a little pokey device, small paintbrushes work good for doing detail, and actually X-Acto blade for cutting slabs and paddling and using centrifugal force and gravity. I use a ruler, very effective in shaping. You gotta get down, cat. And very effective in shaping. And and the bigger one. Come on, you gotta get there, kitty cat though. And some of the bigger ones, to start off my work, I usually use one of these big paddles here, and that really does a number on shaping the clay. So I'll show you what I do with that. I usually just take this and make a strong triangle out of it, square. Today I'm going to be working on a female figure. So what you got to do first is just build the superstructure of the face, and you can add the details later. What I do now first is just take this end and I just poke it into here like this, and that starts the shape, hollowing out the shape. These all got to be very hollow because they'll blow up in the kiln if they're not hollow. As anybody who knows anything about ceramics, they got to be no air bubbles in them, and they got to be completely hollow. Now I'll take that piece there and I'll start to start shaping it with my fingers. Actually, I'll show a little bit more work. I'll use paddle these edges off. Start shaping the face. Japanese hand builders, I learned using paddles and stuff like that from Japanese paddling. They use a lot of paddles when they make their teapots, and the Chinese. And Moroccan hand builders also use paddles to make the shapes. And you start off right away, you start thinking, okay, well, I want certain aspects to this sculpture. So you definitely want to start identifying the different larger areas of the sculpture. Like it's going to have a neck, so you're going to divide the neck out like that. So I use the ruler there to just to kind of divide out the area where I'm going to be placing the neck. Like that. And you want to maybe define the jawline a little bit. So you give it a little bit of that, a little bit of that. And you can see now that I'm starting to already define that. She's also going to have a very luxurious hairline, so you can even start adding that hairline in right now. Using your ruler to sort of impress the areas where you're going to make the head. Now already we got the start of the jaw, we got the hairline, we got the face already started. And then you just start, after that you just start using your fingers, and you pinch it out. You pinch the mass into the shapes you want. And I'm gonna continue with this, defining different areas. And one of the areas is the nose and the mouth. I want to put those in right away. So I'm gonna dedicate a certain amount of mass of the clay that it'll go for the nose and the mouth. And I just basically push the clay into the area where I want the nose to be. As you can see, there's the nose already started. You want the eyes to be about in the middle of so you can define where the eyes are going to be. Like I said, I've been doing this for quite a long time, so sculpting for me it's just like, it's one of the most natural things for me to do. I see a shape and I can automatically represent that shape in my mind. It goes directly to my hands. It's like I have that kind of dexterity. Now you want to use you want to have a spray bottle on hand, because your clay is going to get, it's going to get cracks in it. It's going to get dry out in certain areas. So you want to have that on hand, and have a nice flat knife. I use this X-Acto blade, and you can determine where the cracks are, and just on the side of the knife, you just remove them. You should run the knife sideways over the clay, and the cracks will disappear. Even on the face here, you can sort of get rid of the cracks. There we go. She's starting to take form already. Now, women have very slight features, so you got to make sure that everything is big until it becomes small, and then you can work from big to small. A little bit harder to add clay to your add mass is harder than subtracting, because subtract is a lot easier than addition in this case. There's a lot of sculptors online, but I don't know. I'm trying to parlay my sculpting into a bit of a YouTube channel, because, well, just let's face it, you don't make any money sculpting unless you have big contracts for the city, big city contracts to do large bronze. But in the arts and crafts world, it's pretty hard to make substantial earnings unless you're extremely diligent. I have other interests, so I don't work hard enough. I do work with cars and such, but I really want to make these faces. I'm getting older now, and I want to leave a little bit of a legacy behind for my grandchildren. I'm trying to get my grandchildren into sculpture and art, and so I started I'm trying to make one face a day for the next at least 200 days, and if I'm gonna try to get it for the whole year, hopefully I can do it for the whole year, like 365 faces, and that'd be something to leave behind. And I number them, and they're all one of a kind, and it's very important for me to make them all original. Without them being original, there's just no real sense of doing it. I mean, as artificial art starts taking hold in our world, this might be some of the last original human art that's out there. It could be the next 5 years. Human art could be a thing of the past. It could be ancient. So it just makes it that much more relevant and valuable to the collectors, because they're all, like I said, one of a kind, numbered, and original. So they're actually NFTs in a way, because they're can't duplicate them. Yeah, I could be the only one that could really I mean, people could try to duplicate them, but I'd be only the one that could really be authentically duplicate them. So here we go. We've already started this face, and this face has come along quite rapidly, and we got a pretty nice little starting spot. Now I'm going to start expanding the head, expanding the hair and the jawline and all the things that make the face. I could even at this point start pinching out where the mouth is going to be, and the mouth usually runs between the tip of the nose and the chin halfway. So let's say right there would be the place where the mouth could go. That could be the start of it. Anyway, that's where we could figure it could be. And we can start moving the clay into that direction. Put the bottom lip in. There we go. Portions on a woman's face are much smaller than a man's face, obviously. A woman's nose is a great deal smaller than a man. A woman's mouth is smaller. They have fuller cheeks. They're not such hollowed cheeks, so they got a bit more flesh in the cheeks. So you can already see this is turning into to look a little bit more feminine than female face rather than male. And I'm going to work now. We're going to work now and just expanding the whole piece. See how thick it is. We want to make that a lot thinner because pieces that are thinner and more delicate are just that much more nicer to hold in your hand and to have on your shelf. They feel like they're more refined, and that's where you want to have it more refined, a refined piece. And it's always more how do you say, it's just it gives the art more delicacy and more and overall gives the piece more value when it's more delicate. Like, you know, a Fabergé egg, if it was thick and bulky, it just would lose its charm. And I'll go back to the paddle once in a while and just use it to flatten out areas, define the lines of the chin and the mouth, find your eyes where the eyes are. And I look at her, she's come along within 5 minutes of working on this piece. We've already got a female face started. And a lot of my students get very excited when they say, "Wow, it only took you 5 minutes to make that." But this time is very easy. This will happen very rapidly. But when you start getting into adding the details, that's when you start really time starts to accumulate. But she's starting to already take form.